Well, there have been some great seasons around Sackville of late, but possibly none as great as this one is shaping up to be. Number 3, Gonzaga hosting San Diego as West Coast Conference men's basketball action continues on. Greg Heister, Dan Dick out, Richard Fox. Guys, Gonzaga's got 25 wins. They're unbeaten in the West Coast Conference at 12-0. But really, they've done nothing yet to hang their hat on, have they?
No, this team's got great focus. They understand despite how well they're playing right now, they have a lot to play for, not just the league championship, but that tournament. And also when you get to March, they have big hopes for NCAA tournament time. And
Dan, staying focused can be an issue for a 20-year-old kid.
Oh, without a doubt. But I think one of the things that this team has done a great job is focusing on the task at hand throughout the year. If they continue to do that and improve, the sky's the limit this last month of the season.
And Richard, when the season started, all the concentration seemed to be on the guards for Gonzaga. They're really, really good.
Sure.
It's been a good season. But those post players, wow, great.
Something else.
Yeah.
One of the best front lines in the country, maybe the best who have ever played here. This duo, and Elias Harris and Kelly Olynyk, have been unbelievable this year. Over 32 points per game combined between the two of them, 14 points. And it's the way that they've gone about it. Both players very unique in their own right. They play exceptionally well together. Both players together average 3 assists per game, continually find each other around the rim. You take a look at their numbers. Olynyk has been the best player in WCC play this year, 20 points, nearly over 66% from the field, while Elias Harris has been steady and consistent throughout the season.
And for San Diego, Dan, Bill Greer's got himself a nice young scorer. This guy is something you can build this team around.
Well, Johnny D, coming in as a walk-on last year as a freshman, averaged almost 14 points a game. This year, upping it to about 15, can score in a number of different ways. Here you see a little dribble drive in transition, shooting a jump shot over the top, but he can also stroke it from the three-point line. Shoots almost 40% from the year. Catch and shoot there, little dribble handoff action here. Did a great job scoring against Gonzaga down there. Gonzaga's going to have to take care of him tonight.
And if something is finding yourself a little odd about this picture right now, it's obvious that Dan has found some Miracle Grow or something, Richard. What? I can't figure that. What's going on?
It's a little elk antler spray, I think, maybe. I'm not sure, but.
Hey, it's Gonzaga. It's San Diego. Starting lineups tip off when we come back. And welcome back to Spokane, Washington. Number 3, Gonzaga hosting the University of San Diego. The Zags 25-2 on the season, 12-0 inside the West Coast Conference, and trying to keep this perfect season rolling forward now in league play. Welcome back inside the McCarthy Athletic Center. Of course, they love their Zags inside this place. Another sellout crowd. Time for tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Numerica Credit Union. For San Diego, it's Johnny D, Christopher Anderson, Chris Manresa, Dennis Kramer, and Ken Rancifer. The head coach, Bill Greer, a former longtime assistant at Gonzaga, has now been at USD for 6 seasons. It's hard to believe. 81 and 108. For Gonzaga, starting lineups looking like this. Pangos, Bell Jr., Mike Hart, Elias Harris, and Kelly Olynyk. And their head coach, of course, is Mark Few. And guys, we have seen over these years Mike Hart evolve, but it seems now that nationally the attention has caught up. He's a superstar, it seems like, out there these days, all over the place.
Well, it's a case of him always being in the right position at the right time, but it's not by luck. It's because of preparation. It's because of knowledge of the game. And you see he's getting a little bit more notoriety now, but he's really the glue to this team that's really helping drive them in some tough spots throughout the past few games.
It'll be Olynyk and Manresa tipping it off. And we're underway. And this is Chris Anderson, a sophomore out of Anaheim Hills, California, with the ball, and now Manresa looks to go inside. San Diego will play hard. Bill Greer is a tenacious, tough guy as they try to go inside. His teams will not give up They got off to a 4-0 start in league play, and you can look at the competition, but they've got some nice wins this
and
year.
they've lost 5 games by 3 points or less. So this team has been close a lot. They definitely turned the corner after a tough season last year, but they're going to play hard. They got a lot of confidence down at their place as well, so this is not going to be an intimidated group.
And it's one of those teams, Dan, that when they get into rhythm, it seems like the shots can fall.
Oh, without a doubt. You look at the game down in San Diego, their guards made some big plays, shots, getting offensive rebounds. So anytime you see the ball go through the hoop, your confidence grows.
And a whistle. Got a 3-second violation. First turnover for Gonzaga.
And right there on that first defensive possession for San Diego, you see how talented they are defensively and how they stay within what they're trying to do.
With family home care, you always get the home court advantage you deserve. Live happy with FHC. Gonzaga winning 42 of their last 43 league games on this floor. They're tough to beat anywhere this season. As Johnny D, you see him elevate. Guys, he comes in a small package at 6 feet tall, but boy, can he play the game of basketball.
Well, he's got a quick release, and he's not just a three-point shooter. He can score off the bounce. Excellent at a 1-2 dribble move, pulling up. So he's a lot more versatile than just a straight three-point shooter who's easier to defend.
Our first foul of the game coming on Kramer of San Diego, his team's first. Dan, you gotta like his game.
Well, just like Richard mentioned a second ago, he can score in a number of different ways.
So can Olenek. Gonzaga leads.
Much too easy for San Diego. With that layup off an inbounds.
Finish your thought here on Johnny D, Dan. I mean, he's got to remind you of yourself a little bit. There's a deflection. Pangos picks it up. Gonzaga now on the move. Pangos to the rim. Left hand is good. 6-2. But look at Anderson right back for USD. This guy is lightning in a bottle.
He's a lot of fun to watch, too. One of the more entertaining guys in the league. Excellent at creating stuff for his teammates, can shoot the ball a little bit. What's remarkable, he's second on the team with 4 rebounds a game. Fellas, he's 5'7", 160.
And that's being generous on the 160 part, but he definitely is a competitor. He gets after it.
Dennis Kramer with a miss from 3. Mike Hart's a rebound, and Gonzaga back on offense. They're going to get you to talk more before the game's out on Johnny D, Dan. Pangos with the ball for GU. Down to the baseline. Pangos from the corner. That's short. Harris fighting to get there. Rancifer with a rebound, but a foul called inside on USD. Possession coming back to GU.
We see the steal here. Excellent hands, and this is where Pangos has gotten better for GU. Last year, not as comfortable finishing in transition or in the half court around the rim. He's really worked on that part of his game, Dan. Has a little floater, can finish with either hand around the rim. That's a nice play.
That's Gary Bell. Olenek, nice catch, out to Hart. Pangos for 3.
San Diego falls back into a 2-3 zone, and GU makes him pay right away. Nice ball swing, easy shot for Pangos.
Last 10 games, Kevin Pangos has taken his shooting to another level. It seems like everything he shoots goes in. There's some nice offense. Ken Rancifer, the senior out of Oakland, makes it a 7-4 game.
Well, the reason it seems like everything Kevin shoots is going in is because he has the same mechanics from his footwork all the way up to his release on almost every single shot, and that's the sign of a great shooter.
Just a sophomore for GU. Here's Olenek, the junior. This is deep by Pangos. That's short. Hart digs it out and throws it out.
Just another example of Mike Hart doing all the little things to create team success.
There's a travel on Olenek. He was bumped as he was catching that ball, knocked him off balance.
That shoot around this morning, guys. Kyle Bankhead, who runs the scout for San Diego when they played GU, and Billy Gray were talking about, hey, when you see Olenek or Harris catch the ball on low block, don't be afraid to dive down and try to cause a turnover, get a steal, force them to pick the ball up. That was excellent defense right there by San Diego's guards, helping out Manresa on the low block.
3-point game. Harris watching Anderson. Anderson trying to use that quickness. Stops and spins, missed it. Oh, rebounded. And a foul called. And Manresa will go to the free throw line. Boy, that kid is fast.
Calls on number 30, Mike Hart. That is his first.
Early on in this game, if you're a USD fan, you've got to like what you're seeing. Activity on the defensive end, doubling down like on the prior possession, but you're getting some penetration on offense.
And Ress is short. That foul called on Hart, his first. Team's first, so Hart goes out of the game, replaced by David Stockton. And Ressa, a senior out of Rancho Santa Margarita, California. And Ressa missing both. He's a 60% free throw shooter. And that'll do nothing to help that low average. There's Olenek. Has it poked away by Manresa. Now Anderson. He's got D on the wing. Dribbles to the corner. Handoff. D for three. That's long. Olenek with the position on Manresa with the rebound. Bell at the other end. Got to stop the ball.
Yeah, you take a quick shot in your offense. That's a good look for D. But you give up. You missed the shot. GU, as good as anybody in the country, turning a defensive rebound. It's easy points on the other end. You saw it right there.
Sinis missing from three, a 38% shooter. Right down the gut, and the flush, and it's 11-4.
How about that? Your four-man can bring it up. You don't need to run offense. He can create offense on his own. That's what makes Olenek and Harris so tough. They can create off the dribble.
Sinis kicks it out. Rancifer for three. That's long. Manresa the tip back. Pangos the rebound. These teams going at each other, gentlemen. Bell for three. In and out. That was halfway through.
But a great pace to this game if you're Gonzaga. Up and down, really pushing the tempo. San Diego likes to play at a little bit slower pace. So you got to think this definitely plays into Gonzaga's favor early on.
Jump shot from the corner, no good by Anderson. Olenek the rebound. You figure that if Bill Greer could keep this game in the 50s, that's where he'd like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just want to slow it down, limit possessions.
Oh, boy. Olenek rattles it in. He's got 5. Gonzaga leads by 10.
And he has found the rage in conference play. Now 7 of 13 in league play after going 2 of 10 from 3 in non-conference. Now that he has that part of his game going as well, that makes him even more difficult to match up with if you're an opposing coach and team.
Rancifer trying to get around Bell. Can't do it. San Diego's missed their last 5 field goals. 6 on the shot clock. Rancifer is deep on Harris. Drives, kicks, and it's poked away as Manresa had an opportunity at the dunk. But a foul called here on Gonzaga. 13:33 to play first half. Elias Harris going to work for the Zags. The big flush. Gonzaga leads by 10 early against USD. And welcome back. Time now for tonight's keys to the game, brought to you by Northern Quest Resort and Casino.
Well, for Gonzaga, they've got to do a better job of containing USD's guards than they did down in San Diego earlier this month, where Johnny D had 21.7 rebounds and Chris Anderson had 9 points, 11 assists.
Yeah, for me, fellas, I think it's maintaining that level of play. Wednesday, GU dismantled Santa Clara, a very good basketball team. Continue to find ways to get better. The last thing you want to do is be peaking in February. You need to continue to pursue improvements collectively and individually.
And the third is remain focused. These are young people out here on the floor. They read all of these numbers. They see all the national attention. They just got to focus game by game. Right, guys?
It's easier said than done. I mean, I remember playing. You're always excited to see Monday when the new rankings come out. But you're right. You've got to remain focused on the task at hand, and that's improving every day.
I found it really hard to focus after reading all my press clippings as well. It was just
Richard Fox,
tough.
NBADraft.net, right?
Ouch. No, I don't think they've ever typed in Richard Fox on the website.
Manresa now 2 of 4 from the free throw line. Gonzaga ranked number 3. Miami lost.
Yep.
They win here tonight. They're going to be number 2 on Monday. Only Indiana in front of them, guys. Indiana's got some tough games in front of them yet, and so there's a possibility here Gonzaga continues to win. They're in the number 1 spot eventually.
Which would be historic. Top ranking in GU's history, number 2 in 04. And I think that does mean something. You know, you're not focused on it, but to get that number 1 ranking during the regular season would be special, and I do think the players want to reach that if they can. That's why they've been able to kind of maintain this focus and this discipline.
There's a foul called on number 20, Cameron Miles. And Dan, really, for a team in this size league to be ranked number 1 in the country, and we're getting ahead of ourselves, I realize, but if we can project forward, I mean, you really have to go back to the days of UNLV in the Big West and the Tarkanian teams to even look back and find anything to compare it to.
You know, what I think it is it's a complete byproduct of the program, doing things for so well for such a long period of time. And right now, they're peaking. The program is peaking, and they've got a chance to get that, you know, number 1 ranking possibly because they've got so much respect and they have the team.
Dower missing there, rebounded by John Sinis, and back come the Toreros. And obviously, that Gonzaga coaching staff would not like this conversation at all. They don't want to project forward at all. Most coaches don't. But we're in the media, gentlemen, and sorry, you two are as well. So.
Well, they do a great job of, like we've talked about, focusing on the task at hand and improving daily and weekly. And so that getting the rankings as high as they are, that's great when they go out recruiting and talking to different groups about bringing in players, but it doesn't matter once you step on between the lines and get the game going.
Turnover there. We've got an 8-point game, 14-6. There's Gary Bell. Harris setting the screen. Harris was wide open there for a moment.
That's one area of Gary Bell's game. He has made an improvement making that pocket pass off pick and rolls, but he doesn't make that play the same way as a David Stockton or even a Kevin Pangos.
Harris drains the 3. 17-6. Here's Anderson in deep. Dower there, kick to the corner. This is Sinis for 3. That was pure from the corner. 8-point game.
That's a big shot right there because Gonzaga's really starting to extend that lead. San Diego hasn't shot it well up to this point.
Yeah, that's because Harris right there got caught over helping on dribble penetration. Sinis, 60% of his shots come from 3, 38% on the year. You can't leave him alone behind the arc.
Stockton driving, left-hand lay-in. Well, if San Diego can't stop penetration to the bucket, this is going to be a long game for them. I don't care how many shots they hit at this end.
Well, that's the hallmark of Coach Beer's teams is defensively they really get after you. But you're going to have to contain the dribble much better than they have early in this game.
Shot off by Miles, rebounded Harris. Stockton into the paint, kick out, Gary Bell, nobody there, missed it, Harris the rebound. Largest lead of this game for Gonzaga. Anderson quiets the crowd. Beauty off the glass.
See, sometimes he finishes. You wonder how he gets it up off the backboard. But he's just so creative. A lot like David Stockton in the sense he's an undersized guard. He's got to be creative with his release point and when he looks to throw it up to the rim.
Harris again wide open for 3. That one was long. Miles the long rebound. Trying to get around Stockton and can't. A block call. This will be the first on, actually number 2 on David Stockton. 2 on GU, 10:15 to play first half. Check that. Number 3 on Gonzaga. Elias Harris, 7 points already here in the first half. Really keeping the crowd in the game. Off the rebound and the flush. 10-point game in Spokane. And welcome back to Spokane. Gonzaga with a 10-point lead on USD at 21-11 as we take a look at the standings in the West Coast Conference. And guys, obviously all these games very important for GU, trying to remain unbeaten. But let me say this. talked to Coach Few last week. He's got perspective on this. Obviously, they didn't win the championship last year for the first time in 11 seasons. He's got perspective on it. He says, look, we want to win the championship, but I'm also harping on my guys to enjoy what's happening here because he knows how unique this is.
You have to enjoy the process that you're in right now. And I think if you talk to the guys on the team right now, I spoke with Kevin Pangos before the game. He said they're just having so much fun right now playing the game.
That's a good call, Dan. Just enjoy the moment. This doesn't happen often.
Here's Pangos. Stockton trying to get around D, and he picks up his first personal. That's 4 on San Diego. Gonzaga 26-2, 13-0 in the West Coast Conference. That's what I get for reading the media guide. There's a Dollar inside.
You know, might be the first time all season, maybe in Sam's career, I've seen a little jump hook with the right hand. If he can add that to his toolbox, it's one more weapon right there that you can't just solely play him for the left-hand hook.
Yeah, that's a good call, Dan. I can't remember.
That's what I'm here for, Richard. Help point out the little things in the game to you.
I appreciate that, man. I need all the help I can get.
But it looked good, too. It looked fluid.
4 on the shot clock, and a double dribble called there on Cameron Miles. Turnover number 6 on USD. And Simi Jemison checking in for San Diego. As is number 13, Keith Stackhouse. Number 25, that's for Jemison. Rancifer, Anderson back on the floor. And Guinness trying to save it in the over and back call. So Gonzaga with their 4th turnover.
Kevin, you got it.
Gonzaga 7 of 8 now inside the arc in this game, guys.
That's been the theme all year. You've got some nice shooters with Barham playing now, pardon me, Pangos and Bell, but really that bread and butter inside. You've got to force feed it early, in particular, get teams in foul trouble, and that'll open up those 3-point shots.
There's Dran Guinness. Sam Dower from the corner, that's in and out. Foul called inside. This is going to be on Mike Hart, his 2nd, team's 4th.
But if you're Coach Few and his staff, you don't mind that foul because he's doing exactly what he's in there to do, and that's crash the offensive glass, try to make hustle plays.
Well, Mike Hart's been something else, fellas. I mean, last 4 games, averaging 6 rebounds a game. 4 of those are offensive. In league play, over 2 offensive rebounds per game. So his activity level, you're right, Dan, that's what he does. You can live with some of those fouls away from the ball when he's trying to get your 2nd possession.
Anderson's got to get it going. Johnny D's got to get it going offensively for San Diego if they hope to stay in this game at all.
Well, I'm sure
D's on the bench right there.
I'm sure the Gonzaga staff really challenged Gonzaga's guards to do a much better job in tonight's game.
3 on the shot clock. Manresa falling away.
And that's the guy, I think, for San Diego. You expect Anderson and D to play well. They've been consistent throughout their career. Manresa, who struggled a little bit with consistency over his 4 years. If he's right, he's that 3rd guy for them.
Dran Guinness from the corner. That's long. Olenek the rebound. Shemek lays it in.
What a play, though, by Kelly Olenek. Offensive rebound, gets doubled in the paint. It has the ability to see Shemek Karnowski wrap around bounce pass to his fellow big. Great play.
Yeah, you're right, Dan. Most bigs get that offensive rebound. They don't have a putback. They're looking at the three-point line to deliver the ball. Olynyk and Harris both trying to make plays off those offensive rebounds if they don't have a putback themselves.
Olynyk off the miss by Fujemison. Pangos, three. Bang! Boom! Pangos with 8. Wow. 15-point game.
Great pull-up in transition. That's a shot that he has the ability to shoot and knock down consistently, and that is a key to opening up other parts in transition for him.
Well, we talked to coaches throughout the year, for all these broadcasts, and the underlying theme, particularly as we got into conference, was, look, GU's interior is one of the best in the country. We're going to have a tough time there anyway, but it's those perimeter plays that really hurt you. You've got to be able to contain Pangos, Bell, now Barham. Don't give them easy shots, and right there, that's just much too easy. Anderson's hands are down. If you've got perimeter shooting, guys knocking down shots for Gonzaga, they are awfully tough to beat. That's really the one area where coaches have tried to focus on, and so far tonight, San Diego struggled to stop those perimeter shots.
And after a little lull, they're really getting it going, and you see the stats right here. First in the conference in scoring offense and defense, which creates such a great scoring margin. They get to the free throw line, but they convert when they get there as well, and then field goal percentage almost 50%, which is also top 3 in the country.
Those numbers are staggering. Both teams to 58 points a game.
I don't think Gonzaga gets as much credit what they're doing defensively this year, and that's because their offense has been so efficient.
Yeah, but I also think the program's history, if you followed GU for a long time, they're not known for their defensive ability. But you're right, Dan, this is one of the better defensive teams in the country.
Rancifer's shot is short, kicked around underneath. GU ball. It's been a balanced scoring effort tonight by Gonzaga already as well. 7 different Zags have scored. They lead by 15.
Hold on.
Gonzaga now with a 15-point lead on USD. Guy Kevin Pangos, now a sophomore. First of all, you can never leave this guy open.
Oh, he's such a great shooter, and what he's doing now is he's scoring in different ways. Here you see pull-up 3 in transition, which is hard to knock down. This one, rotation off the zone defense was slow. Catch and shoot 3, knock it down. And here, in transition, push the ball. Defense doesn't stop you. Get all the way to the cup right there. Great left-hand finish. Doing a great job scoring in different ways this year as compared to last year.
And Richard, he's so good, you can't just throw a hand up and wave at him. You got to get up into him and guard him close.
Yeah, you've got to be there on the catch. He's got a quick release, and every time he gets into the shooter's pocket, he can go up with it. So
shots already made.
Yeah, it's not just enough to get there in rotation and being there. You've got to close out and get there on the catch and then have a hand up as well. For being only 6 foot, he's able to shoot over some bigger guys when their hands are down.
GU back on offense, under 6 to play first half. Pangos, Shemek Karnowski with the catch. And now an offensive foul inside on Kelly Olynyk. Olynyk picks up number 1. That's 5 on GU with 5:52 to play.
That's something we haven't seen a lot out of Kelly this year, but we did his first 2 years as he got in awfully bad foul trouble just with tic-tac fouls like that, sticking his hand in the cookie jar, different things like that. He's done a great job staying out of foul trouble this year.
Harris back on the floor. Olynyk getting the rest. Harris with 7 points. Chris Anderson with it. Manresa patient against Karnowski, and will go to the free throw line. Foul called here on Karnowski. That's his first, team 6th. Guys, good time to talk about Elias Harris. And I think this kid is as good as any Zag ever, and it has nothing to do with his numbers.
Well,
and this is why. He's in his senior year. There's all this talk about the NBA, and he has watched Kelly Olynyk come onto the scene this year and take away a lot of his points. And it has not affected him one bit.
You know, I think on the floor, off the floor, there hasn't been a better guy And you're right, he's accepted Kelly's emergence, and not only that, but the depth up front. For a senior, you could be upset with the fact you have to split a lot of time with 3 other guys, but he's embraced it all. He's been a great leader.
He had a lane violation there against Gonzaga, so another opportunity for Manresa. Dan, for a kid who's trying to get to the NBA, if there's a selfish bone in him at all, what's happened with Olynyk would bother him. We've seen it with players in the past.
You can see it, but this group, this year's team is so cohesive, and they're all focusing on the same goal, and that's to maximize their ability this year. That Ellis doesn't want to put that to chance, but what he's doing right now is he's showing a lot of character to NBA scouts.
A lot.
Yeah. And when you're drafted where he's probably going to be drafted in the 2nd round, maybe late first, you never know. You're going to a team where you've got to have that. You're going into an established locker room more than likely. You can't be a guy who causes trouble.
Brand Guinness with an explosion to the rim. 15-point game. Boy, look at the power by Manresa. Went right at Karnowski.
People forget he was an all-freshman kid.
But he scored 8 points a game, Richard.
I know, but 09, 010, he was one of the better freshmen. He just hasn't been able to consistently do it. Doesn't have a great motor. But when he comes to play, he's about as good as it gets in the WCC.
Dick Gals even got one when he just saw from Pangos there.
I mean, we talk about scoring in a number of different ways. That right there is a great example of shielding the defense with your body, creating the contact, getting the ball up high off the glass, so when the foul comes, the ball still has a chance to go in. Great
tough finish.
Yeah.
A lot of contact. He takes it from Sinis, and he's gotten bigger over the offseason. Olynyk's not the only guy who's made a real big change to his physique. I think Kevin spent a lot of time in the weight room. He's gotten stronger. Now he can absorb some of that contact. As a freshman, that would really bother him.
Pangos into double figures with 11 points. That was the first foul on Sinis, 5 on USD.
That's a good point about getting stronger. You know, you don't necessarily have to put on pounds. Your strength needs to be able to continue to help you explode through contact and stay on balance.
Brand Guinness, I thought that was a clean poke, but kind of a late whistle. The foul called. His first, team 7th. Good quick hands by Brand Guinness. I don't know. I have been really impressed by Elias Harris this year because of that fact.
Well, I totally agree, and you're right. We've seen it in the past.
Yes.
Maybe not as noticeable as for a lot of fans. We've had some seniors in particular, or established players who might run the wrong way. You want to be the guy, and Harris is taking a little bit of a backseat to Olynyk. He's embraced his role, and he's had a tremendous season. I mean, his career is as good as anybody who's ever come through here.
There's a whistle inside. This will be on USD, and it will go against Sinis. That's his second, team 6.
I agree. You take a look at his 4 years total. Started for 4 years. He's going to be top 5 in scoring and rebounding, I believe.
Yep.
And the fact that
top 10 in steals, blocks for his career. He's probably going to shoot 50% from the field, 35 from 3. I mean, what are we talking about here? One of the greatest players to come through here.
Oh, without a doubt. I can't think of anybody quickly that I would take over him at that point.
I think you look at 4-year careers, the guys who come to mind are Turiaf, Santangelo, and Steph. Harris knocks down a great face-up jump shot. Calvary, thank you. You're always going to forget one. Casey might kill me when he hears this. But Casey was tremendous as well.
You owe me, Richard. Because he would have killed you.
He would have killed me.
Manresa backdoor Anderson. Couldn't save it. 3:37 to play. Turnover number 6 on USD. 35-17 the score in Spokane. Beautiful shot of the Spokane River. Goes right through the downtown of Spokane. The Zags with a 35-17 lead against the USD Toreros. 3:37 to play. First half. And there's somebody that Richard also just left off the list. Corey Violette.
Wow.
He could play.
Yeah, he could play. Play with both of you guys.
Yeah, he did.
And a big life happening recently for him.
Yeah, that's his fiance Lisa. Wonderful, wonderful gal. They just got engaged last week. So things are going well with Corey. But we played this morning, and kind of gave it to him, so I just forgot him today. But
they're not talking, they're not fighting, are they?
No, things are good.
Good. All right, good.
The game is so.
You can find out after the game. Fill us in here.
Well, something that's a unique part about GU. A lot of guys are still here. You have Kyle in town, former player going to be in town. We're all going over his parents' house after the game, about half a dozen of us. And that's something that's unique. You see it all the time here at GU.
Here's Gary Bell. Missed that long. Rebounded by number 33, Gito Koch. 3-minute mark, first half. Goes the deflection. Anderson regains control and then a handoff to Rancifer. 12 on the shot clock. San Diego's in a tough place here. Well, they got to get some points, but they also don't want to get it back into the up and down battle with GU. And now they're in trouble. They won't even get a shot off.
Well, you want to slow it down if you're San Diego with that possession. Really no dribble penetration to speak of, and not a lot of ball swing. Your offense has been really stagnant. You see Anderson is frustrated, and right now San Diego just can't get things going offensively. And you're right, Greg. They don't want to take quick shots because they don't want to feed GU's fast break. But you got to find that middle ground.
Yeah, and that's a lot harder said than done, though. I mean, that's a crazy thin threshold. Here's Dowell. Shot is blocked, but Sam ran it down. Pangos poked away, and a foul called here. This will be on Anderson. That's his first, team 7th, so Pangos will shoot free throw.
Here you see Gito Koch for San Diego going up, getting the block, leads the conference in shot blocking as a freshman. He's got a ton of potential. A guy that he reminds me of just because of his build and the way he moves on the floor is Nicholas Batum with the Portland Trailblazers. I don't know if he has that upside, but he has that look. And Richard's shaking his head over there, but coming up as a young player, Nicholas Batum was not viewed as a 16, 17-point guy in the NBA either, but has really developed.
Well, he's great defensively. The offense is a long way away. Only takes 2 shots a game. Really struggles. Doesn't have great hands yet. But what he is a guy who on the defensive end might win Defensive Player of the Year a couple times. Well, he has a real impact on that end.
Long.
Yep.
He is athletic. And he keeps working with Kyle Bankhead, Mike Burns, and Coach Greer. He's going to improve.
14 on the shot clock. Rancifer with Pangos and Dranginis all over him. Scores it. Minute 43 to play.
Well, he's going to be aggressive to score. That's one thing that you're going to see from him.
Who was the great defender that USD had back in your guys' era from the west side of Washington?
Corey Belser.
Corey Belser.
He was more during Morrison's era.
He was awesome defensively.
He's a phenomenal defender, and he's actually he's working with the Cleveland Cavaliers now in their front office department.
I thought he was a pro on that end.
He probably was on that end. Just the offense didn't have a lot going there on the offensive end. It wasn't a great shooter. They didn't have a lot of handle, but defensively, he brought it to Morrison. Obviously, Morrison had the upper hand more often than not, but he competed on that end of the floor.
Here's Johnny D back on the floor. Little teardrop. D with just his second bucket.
Nice play, though. Staggered screen away from the ball. Rather than pop out for the 3, D curls off of it, gets himself a little floater. Good recognition.
A great read, but if you're Gonzaga, where's the big hedging on the screen? Not allowing him to curl so close to the basket.
Harris just traveled. He's not sure how.
Just switched his pivot foot when he looked to face up.
7 turnovers on GU. Under a minute to play. So San Diego guys, now all of a sudden it's kind of back in reach here. It's at 14. They get a bucket or 2 here before the end of the half, and Bill Greer will take that.
Absolutely.
Rancifer, good look. Long. Dranginis the rebound. About 4 seconds differential between the 2 clocks. Yeah, a little closer to 3, I guess.
If you're Gonzaga here, you want to run this clock down as much as you can. Shoot it towards the absolute end of the shot clock, not to give San Diego another chance at it.
10 on the shot clock. Anderson fouled Pangos. To an elbow right up into him. Good call.
Good use of the pick and roll, though, there by Kevin Pangos. Having patience, angling his defender, making sure he really did a good job running him off the screen.
Anderson picks up his second. That's 8. And Kevin Pangos with 11 points. He's 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Boy, it gets quiet in here.
It's almost distracting as a player sometimes.
It is distracting to me, especially that light up there behind the backboard. You guys see that light shining right at Pangos?
Someone's taking a picture.
Seriously, that's a bright light. If that camera panned up a little bit, another few rows, you would see it. It's right behind the backboard. Anderson trying to get a shot inside, and the finish with the left hand by Manresa. Harris got it away. 14-point game at the half. Chris Manresa with 10 points for USD. He leads the Toreros. Kevin Pangos leads Gonzaga with 13. Gonzaga with another big lead at half in the West Coast Conference, ranked number 3 in the country. 13-0 in West Coast Conference play, 26-2 overall, and playing like they deserve it all. We'll be right back with halftime in Spokane. Little dogs. They're little dogs. Tonight's halftime stats brought to you by the Coeur d'Alene Casino. And I'm sure as we take a look at all these numbers, a lot of them are going to be tilted towards Gonzaga's favor.
Well, I think for me, the thing that jumps out is the field goal percentage. Shooting almost 58% from the field. San Diego's only at 43. If they're going to climb back in this game, they got to drive Gonzaga's down and bring theirs up.
San Diego's only turned it over 7 times. It's not like they've been throwing the ball all over the place. They just haven't gotten a lot of easy looks, whether it be in transition or in their half court. I think they're caught in no man's land. They don't want to play too fast, but they can't take so long. They can't get as deep in the shot clock as they have been, because at that point you've got to take a tough shot.
And guys, if you're going to come on this floor and beat Gonzaga, you got to shoot it well from behind the arc. You just have to. They're 1 of 6.
You got to do a number of things. You got to shoot well from the field, preferably from the three-point line. You've got to rebound the ball, and you got to get Gonzaga to shoot a poor percentage from the field, which is extremely difficult to do.
That's easy to do, though, right?
Yeah, if he was this tall, he'd still be playing.
This is weird.
We're at the halftime.
We'll
be
be
right back.
Gentlemen.
Hold on.
Number 3 Gonzaga with a 14-point lead on the San Diego Toreros. The Zags with 15 field goals in that first half. San Diego with just 9. There's the difference in the score, ladies and gentlemen. Second half, we'll tip it off when we come back. Well, these fans certainly excited about what's going on in Zagville this season. Gonzaga 26-2, 13-0 inside the West Coast Conference. Kevin Pangos led Gonzaga in that first half with 13 points, and Chris Manresa led USD with 10, and we are underway. And here's a whistle and a foul right away. This is going to be on Manresa. That is his first, team's first.
I think if you talk to USD coaching staff at halftime, they'd be pleased with what they did defensively against Kelly Olynyk. Only 5 points, 2 for 2 from the field, but 4 turnovers. So they're making life difficult on him. They just got to contain some of the other guys.
San Diego did hit 4 of their last 5 to end that first half and get it to 14, but Olynyk extends it right back to 16 and a chance to get it to 17. Olynyk with 7 points.
Got a nice catch here. Good seal. Waits for the defense to clear out. And that's where you see the strength, the improvement from Kelly. He's always had the ball skills, but now with that added strength and athleticism, he can finish with some of that contact. That's a nice move.
$17-point lead. Anderson moves it to the far side. Here's D for 3. Short. Olynyk and Harris battle for it. Olynyk runs it down.
Well, they've got great chemistry passing the ball to each other, but both of them went for the rebound there. Kelly just stole it from him.
Olynyk set the screen. Tango's picked up the dribble. Olynyk. And a touch foul called there on Chris Anderson.
Yeah, looked like a good closer. See right here, the big screen, and that's 7 foot, about 250, 260, 5'7", about $150. That'll happen.
Are you saying big guys like setting screens on little guys?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Guys get big.
Olynyk, he traveled.
Turnover number 5. He just hasn't had much rhythm. I know he's 3 of 3 from the field, but Kelly's shown a little frustration. San Diego's done a nice job, though, for the most part. On his catches, they're faking the help, or sometimes they'll bring the help. They changed it up as a result. Kelly right now a bit confused as to how he wants to attack that help side defense.
Oh, you got to blow the whistle there somewhere.
That's a good no call.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
There's that much contact.
Oh, it
looked worse than it probably was. You got Mike coming over. He's probably inside. He is inside the circle. He's moving him a bit. I like that's a no call. If that's going to be anything, it probably should be a block.
But that's what I mean. I mean, you got to blow the whistle. Harris inside. I mean, call a block.
Oh yeah, let him play. Let him play. Contact sport, Greg. Come on now.
I hear you. There was a time there wasn't that much contact in basketball. I'm not that old, though, so don't go there. There's Anderson. Turnover. Right to Harris. Gonzaga with a 3-on-2. Harris dives into the middle. Left hand falls off. Foul called. This will be on Kramer, and that'll be his 4th.
That's what separates Elias from a lot of other foremen, not only in this conference, but throughout the country, is he can get a rebound, get a turnover, and he can push the ball up the floor, and for the most part, make good decisions when the ball's in his hands.
Well, it's tough because he brings it down. More than likely, his man's going to pick him up, and all of a sudden you've got Elias with his quickness, his ball handling, who's got an ISO at the top of the key with the 4-man, and there's not a lot of help in transition. Let's see the no call here, Manresa. Nice move.
Oh, you've got to blow the whistle.
On the block.
What's the call?
On the block.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. But
There's a foul there. If there's a foul, you got to call it.
But you know what? Again, Mike Hart was in the right position.
He was. He absolutely was.
And sometimes you just have to be in the right position, and you wear referees down by just being a pest and making them make decisions throughout the game.
Here's Anderson. I just learned something about Richard Fox.
what's that?
He hates losing to the play-by-play guy. Here's Harris. Great rebound. Tipped the line.
I think I'd side with you more times than Fox would, Craig.
I've noticed. Trust me, I've noticed.
Bengals. And Gonzaga now with their largest lead at 8-20.
There's a foul there, Greg? What?
Well, I tell you what, though, that is a great push in transition there by Chris Anderson.
It was.
Creating something out of literally nothing there.
Dickerson missing the front end, and Kevin Pangos guy is not big, but
well, third time
he's good.
Third time today he's done this transition. Nobody picks up the ball. If no one picks you up at the free throw line, Dan, as a guard, and that's your cue. Go to the rim, and he's done an excellent job of that, finishing with both the left and the right hand.
Free throw gets it back to 19. There's Olynyk. Gary Bell. You guys must love, Dan, you must love the way all around, and all 5 positions are moving.
And I was just looking at that position. You had dribble handoff action. Then you had from the top of the key point guard to the elbow action, flare screen to a down screen, swing the ball into a post up to your bread and butter, getting Kelly on the block, draws the foul. If you're San Diego, you foul with 4 or 5 seconds on the shot clock, and you're like, man, we guarded every possible scenario or concept on the floor, and then we foul. What a possession.
Well, give the fans an idea how smart you have to be to play in that offense that we just saw.
Well, you've got to have a good basketball IQ, because not only are there a lot of sets, but a lot of sets will start the same way and they'll end differently. So right there, as Olynyk knocks down the free throw, you run that weave action. Often you'll see one of the bigs come up for a ball screen. There you see both bigs come up to the free throw line. That's a 1-4 high. You change the look. And because GU can run so many different things, they can change things from week to week, which makes them difficult to scout.
Rensifer, that's a deep 3 over Harris, and Olynyk with the rebound.
You know, I think if you talk about playbooks throughout the college game, Gonzaga's probably got one of the thicker ones in the college game.
Well, Stockton showing some spark there, couldn't get it to drop. Anderson spins and will shoot 2. That's Johnny D averaging 15 points a game coming in. He's got 4 once again, and there's a stat sheet around here somewhere with the big players that Gonzaga has defended against in this league. They do a tremendous job against the best players defensively.
Yeah, they've accepted the challenge, and more often than not this year come out on top. Johnny D played really well down there in early February. Gonzaga's scouting report, let's take him out of the equation tonight, and they've done that in the first half and early in the second half.
They make you work. You know, I don't think people look at GU and think it's a great perimeter defensive team. And even up front, you don't block a lot of shots, but what you do is guys are always in the right position. It's an excellent team concept. Team defensive strategy, guys know where to be, and often that's all you need to do.
The officials get together and they give possession to USD, but Foster with Santa Clara scored 4 points here. Norton Jackson Pepperdine scored just 9. Cole Dickerson was shut out. Tyler Hawes 1 point.
But it's the field goals too. Foster's 2 of 10. Jackson's 3 of 12. Dickerson only gets 4 shots. Oh!
Olynyk getting up there.
And you talk about great defense.
Yeah.
He was in help side, got to the strong side early enough to give him a chance to make that play right there.
Kelly Olynyk defending the rim in Spokane. 15:58 to play. Gonzaga up by 20. Welcome back. Time now for tonight's Arby's trivia question. What is the Gonzaga record for the most regular season victories? Is it 18, 26, 22, or 28? Text your answer to 27297. We'll have that for you a little bit later in the broadcast. A 20-point lead for Gonzaga, 47-27 our lead. And as we take a look at what Kelly Olynyk did right before the last break. Guys, he's 7 feet tall. Yeah. I don't know, do we sit here and say he's more athletic than we thought he was?
Well,
he doesn't have the quickest feet, but yet you see a play like that, he's 7 feet going up high.
He's got good feet, maybe not the quickest feet. He's not a great, standstill jumper, but if he gets on the move and gets a step, he's vertical. You saw it right there.
Off the inbound, Manresa with a chance for 3.
That's just a tough play if you're Gonzaga. Giving up a layup off a baseline inbound play almost from the corner.
Yeah, you don't see that very often.
breakdown on the weak side there for sure.
Manresa now with 14 points for San Diego. Just 2 rebounds there. And a 60% free throw shooter is now 5 of 7 from the free throw line. He's 5 of 6 from the floor. The rest of the team 6 of 21. Olynyk in deep. And that drop. Kelly now starting to stack him up. He's got 12.
Yeah, 24 out of his last 30 field goals attempt. I mean, he is shooting the ball at an unbelievable clip, fellas. And it's not just inside, outside. It's a combination of everything. He's really feeling it offensively right now.
He's really comfortable right now with his game. And you can see it because he takes his time.
Harris swatted that attempt by Ransomberg. Stockton at the other end.
Great push in transition, leaving, in the defense turn, finishing at the rim.
And now San Diego slowing it back down. There's Anderson. Sinis for 3, that's off. Manresa poked it away from Stockton. Pangos ran it down. Here's Harris. Shoot that, right, Dan?
Let that thing fly, David. Come on now. Give me a jersey. I'll go out there and shoot it.
But once you hesitate, you do got to back it out, right? Reset.
Yeah, you know, he hasn't shot it the way he's capable of it in the league, but still, you're wide open. Let that thing fly.
Pangos will.
Turn down a good shot. Get it great.
Gonzaga leads by 24. This is the largest of the game, and Bill Greer wants a timeout. He just wants to slow momentum down. But you know, that decision to shoot or not shoot, you guys know, is split second. And so if you don't feel it, you don't make that decision, it's not a bad thing to back out.
Well, sometimes the hardest shots are the ones that you're wide open.
Harris with the defense. David Stockton with the vision, and then the cruise control. 24-point game in Spokane. West Coast Conference standings. We know why this is important to Gonzaga. They're trying to get to 14-0 and a league championship. San Diego at 6-7, guys. Very important. They're trying to get to that 4th seed. It's about seedings in the West Coast Conference tournament. They won their first 4. They're 2 of 7 since.
Yeah, they've had a lot of close games, and they've lost to Santa Clara twice. So they'll play San Francisco and Pepperdine next weekend. If they can win those games at home, they'll definitely finish 5th.
And Santa Clara winning today at Portland. That's a team I can't figure out. Man, there are some stud players on that team. Olynyk gets it out of
4
bounds.
guys on Santa Clara's ball club that have scored 1,000 points over their career. When we called the game down there, we were really impressed when we left that game. They just have struggled as they've gotten into the league, and that's what makes the league difficult. You know, non-conference, you're playing programs that aren't familiar with you, but once you get in the league, everybody knows everybody's offense, and things get a little more difficult.
Cameron Miles with the drive and the finger roll. But guys, you'll see it with Gonzaga this year. There's obviously tremendous players on this floor for GU, but it's the chemistry, I think, that makes the difference. And maybe Santa Clara doesn't have great team chemistry. They've got great players.
You know, I think you probably, without knowing inside details of the Santa Clara program, you probably hit it right on the head. Chemistry is such a huge thing in team sports.
No look, Drew Barham, corner, 3-ball, good. Drew Barham has really emerged in the last month for Gonzaga at 6'5". Richard, you talked in the early part of the season that this team could have trouble with bigger guards. He might be the answer to that.
You know, offensively, he's doing what they need, stretching the floor, shooting threes, well over 55% from 3 in conference, but he's starting to pick up some of the traits that Mike Hart has, getting his hands on loose balls, offensive rebounds, those kind of things.
I really like Barham. You know, he's second in the league with that 55% from 3. As we see the block, GU really shutting things down. Olynyk with another block at the rim. But with Barham, he stretches your defense. You know, when you have Hart out there, teams can really help off of Mike. It's not that he's not ineffective offensively, but when you put Barham out there, it stretches. That's one less help defender on Olynyk, Harris. He provides a nice change of pace for you off the bench.
Offensive foul on GU. This is on Olenek, his second, team's fourth. Drew Barham is an interesting kid too. Smart kid. Transfer from Memphis with his degree. He's an artist, not into video games.
He played on an Athletes in Action tour a couple summers ago with a coach that I know very well, and he has nothing but good things to say about him. He said he's going to add a lot of things to the Gonzaga program, and he obviously has this year.
Koch with a miss. There's Pangos. There's Barham.
And what you like about Barham, like right there, that's a shot. But he's not going to force anything. He doesn't hurt you offensively. He only takes good shots in rhythm, as you see again. High-low action. Wow. How often we see that? Olenek to Dower inside. That is tough to defend against.
And look at Olenek out there creating havoc. Barham, look out! Wow. The monster's growing in Spokane. The Zags on a 14-2 run.
Well, if you had any question whether or not Olenek can get up, take a look at that. Wow.
With the left hand.
Yeah,
that's tonight's play of the game. Sponsored by Cost Cutters. Get in, get confident. Visit one of 7 local Cost Cutter salons today. Cost Cutters, Gonzaga's #1 hair salon.
Throw it down, big fella. Boom goes the dynamite.
Wow, how many more of these you got in you, buddy? I know it's our last game of the year, but
you know, you got this crowd really going right now. I mean, it's got us excited. You know, we've had another good year of broadcasting. It's been a lot of fun, but this team and this crowd makes it even more fun.
It's got to be tough on some level for the coaching staff and even these players. Just not wanting to get right now to the March dance. Let's just get there.
Yeah, I think you're ready to play, but you know, hey, you lost the league last year, and that's been a big goal for this ball club. And I know for a guy like Elias Harris and Mike Hard, getting back that championship is critical.
There's a charge. Gonzaga lost that championship last year for the first time in 11 seasons. Only those great UCLA teams have had won more consecutive league titles than Gonzaga with 13. They may be beginning another streak here today. We'll be right back. And here's the answer to Arby's trivia question. The Gonzaga record for most regular season victories is 26. And ladies and gentlemen, this just happened. It looks like Micah Downs' little brother wearing a Adam Morris and Charlotte Bobcats jersey for $2,100. He just canned it from half court. He can't believe it. There's a great look. Whack!
That's awesome.
His reaction is priceless. Where's LeBron? I mean, shouldn't LeBron be tackling him right now?
He should be.
Where's Olenek? He's running out there.
You know, the great thing is Greg, you called it. You pointed it out. I said the guy at the end is going to hit it. Lo and behold, he knocks it down.
He had like his bedroom slippers on and an old great pair of socks.
I got this, folks.
He kind of dressed like Morrison. David inside, left it for Dower. Sam got it back, and he'll shoot for 3. Shemek Karnowski will replace Kelly Olenek. Olenek checks out with 14 points and 9 rebounds.
Perfect from the field, 5 of 5.
We'll see him again.
I doubt it. 5 of 5 from the field, knocked down a 3. 3 free throws. That did have 6 turnovers, but still, offensively, when he gets in rhythm and he attacks the rim, he's as efficient as anybody in the country.
Sam Dower checks out. Harris back in. Gonzaga has doubled up San Diego right now. 10 on the shot clock. For Jemison on Karnowski. Spins, traveled. Stepped down the end line, yes. Turnover number 11 for Bill Greer in San Diego, and that's 3 consecutive possessions resulting in a turnover.
Well, if you look at the second half stats right now, Gonzaga shooting 83% from the field the first 10 minutes, and San Diego's at 25%. I mean, but 83%. I mean, holy cow.
Barham cutting. Karnowski the rebound. He missed it. Tipped around. Grabbed by Manresa. You know, I interviewed Drew Barham the other day, and I said, wow, are you just about the 3? And he says, no. He said, I love coming off screens. He says, I've got a really good mid-range game. There's other things in his arsenal that Gonzaga hasn't needed yet. You may see it before the end of the season.
Well, that's what I like about Barham. And quite frankly, most of their guys, you don't see them trying to do something that either isn't needed or that they're not great at. Barham, great shooter. He does a nice job defensively with his length, just trying to stay in front of guys. They don't need him to try to do those other things. It's not that he can't. And he's embraced the fact that they need him just to focus on what he does well and not trying to do too much.
There's Harris. Nice vision. Barham for 3. Harris with a great vision.
Cross-court pass. Everyone's watching Harris on the low block, and Barham just spots up. And that shot, Dan, is as pretty as you're going to see. It's the same every time, a lot like Kevin. There's no variation.
High release, great finish with the follow-through.
I mean, he's not just 6'5". He's got long arms. And you're seeing it now. He's really embraced trying to do more than just be a shooter. As a result, his minutes have gone up. He's trying to really emulate Mike Hart as best he can.
And guys, that last play by Harris, I think, kind of gives us a clear view of what his career has been. This is a game in which he could be padding his numbers,
sure, and
yet he's still looking for the open shooters.
We'll see right here. Everyone's watching Harris. D gets lost. And Barham just spots up.
Hey, students, want to score a Samsung Galaxy Tab 7.7 from Verizon, a $125 Verizon Wireless gift card, and a $500 Gonzaga bookstore gift card? Well, enter here at VerizonInsider.com/Gonzaga. Manresa drops that one through. He's shooting it well tonight from the free throw line. 7 of 9. 17 points.
Great night. 17 points. 5 of 6 from the field, but nobody else has been able to get going. Johnny D shoots about 12 times games, only taking 6 shots. 0 of 3 from the three-point line.
Yeah, it's not just that they're not shooting it well, they're just not getting shots. San Diego has taken 34 shots in this game. They're 1 of 11 from behind the 3. And although these games for both Bill Greer and Mark Few have gotten easier over the years because they were so close and such a big part of the Gonzaga program, games like this aren't fun for either side.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not fun.
No one's taking any enjoyment. If you're Mark Few, and if you're Billy, obviously you're disappointed. You thought you'd come in after the way you played down in San Diego. You give a little tougher test, but GU right now is just a machine. They're playing as well as they played all year.
Richard, I know when the season started, or even a month or 2 in, you were quite reluctant to say this is the best team that Mark Few's ever had. I'm wondering now, as we zero in on March, where you're at with that statement. And we'll get Dan's opinion here in a moment. Would this have beat your team with Blake Stepp?
It would have been a great game. No, it's hard to say. I mean, I think with the 04 team had Kyle Bankhead, Blake Stepp, Tony Skinner, Earl Knight, Adam Morrison, Derek Ravio. That was your perimeter. And then your interior play was really good. You had Mallon, who was a freshman, who had a great freshman year.
There's Kyle
Bankhead. Ronnie Turioff and Corey Violette were one of the better front lines in the country at that time. That was a good ball club. This team is very, very good as well. It's a tough call, quite frankly. I mean, I like our chances, but that's not to say we beat them, consistently.
What do you think, Dan? Would it beat your team?
Thanks for putting me on the spot one last time this year, Greg. The competitor in me wants to say no. We would have found a way to get it done. But in seeing this team grow from October when they played Southern Utah to now where they're at now, I think this team is clearly the best team that they've had. But it doesn't mean it fully until they get through the NCAA tournament.
Stockton for three. That one rattles out. Konowski keeps it alive. Reset the clock.
I do think something that differentiates this team is Barham takes another one and knocks it down. That's three threes here in the second half for Drew Barham. I think this team is better defensively than both those ball clubs. They don't have maybe the shot blocking that you had on some of those other teams, and maybe a guy like an Earl Knight or Anthony Reason who were the stopper. But collectively, this group is really dialed in defensively. I think the numbers bear that out. They're very, very good on that end of the floor.
Well, let me just say this.
Who'd you pick?
Yeah, I was going to say it's Anderson Berry's at three. I'm the only guy that's objective out of the three of us in this whole thing. This is the best team that I've ever seen here. Okay? You guys played on teams that played like orange juice. This team has pulp.
Oh, I like that.
Okay, there's pulp in their orange juice. 7:06 to play in Spokane. We'll be right back.
Only my.
He's got 9 points, 3 of 4, and he's 3 of 3 from behind the arc. First 10 games of the season, guys, he had 4 makes from behind 3. Last 12, he's got 18.
And you see, 2 of those shots, pardon me, Dan, are contested. But he's 6'5", 6'6", long arm. He's able to knock down contested jump shots. And then you remember, he broke his nose early in the practice season, and then he even broke it as the season started. So for a guy who played really well when he first got here, it took him a while to get healthy and adjust to playing with and then without that face guard.
And another whistle here. 7:04 to play, guys. As we look at another Gonzaga possession here. This is the last time we're going to have the opportunity to call a game that involves this Gonzaga team the way it's constructed, as Dower can't bring it in. Let's get an idea on how deep. Obviously, we haven't seen the bracket. We don't know what region for sure. If they're a 1 or 2 seed, they'll be in the West, but we don't know who will be out there with them yet. Can this team get to the Final Four?
I think they can. Yeah. I think they've got enough talent. They've got enough weapons. They're good enough defensively, which is something that Gonzaga typically hasn't been able to say. But again, it comes down to who's in your region. If those teams, typically between 4 and 6 seeding, are playing really well and can knock you off.
Yeah, it sounds like kind of a cop-out, but really, but the tournament's all about matchups.
It is. It's 100%.
Your senior year is a prime example. You go, 28-3 or some ridiculous, and you get a bad seed. And then you play a Wyoming team down in New Mexico. Now, GU's going to get a 1 or 2 seed, but that third weekend in particular, you can play an upper single-digit team that is really, really, really tough. And how do they match up with you? That's really the key. You think you're going to have an advantage inside, but how does the perimeter match up? You play a bigger perimeter team that has some better athletes and it's stronger. That could give you some problems. I think that's a big reason why you've seen Grant Guinness and Barham get extended minutes here as we've gotten basically to the midpoint of WCC schedule, is that you need to have some of that length on the perimeter. Both those kids can also make some plays for you. Grant Guinness attacking the rim, and Barham, as we've seen tonight, can really stretch the defense and knock down shots.
Manresa with a season-high 19 points for USD as Stockton hits the jump shot.
They're bringing everything out now tonight, shooting 70% in the second half, but that's a shot right there you haven't seen from David Stockton all year. One dribble pull-up over the top. The bench, 28 points tonight. I mean, that's an unheard of number.
And GU's playing this week's the best week they've had all year. You saw the domination against Santa Clara as Jimison gets the tip back. But you see again tonight, GU dominates an opponent. You want to make sure that you can peak at the right time, and that's in March. And that's why this team has to continue to focus and say, hey, look, we're dominating teams right now. We're playing really well, but how do we get better? I think sometimes teams and individuals become satisfied. You can't allow that to happen.
Guinness lost the handle. Guys, this team has as good a poise as I've seen any Zag team have. Indicative of their great wins on the road this year at Oklahoma State. Really a win at Butler. They ended up losing that. But then at St. Mary's, the way they played there. But also, when's the last time Mark Hughes had to deal with somebody fouling out of a basketball game? They had tremendous discipline.
It's a high basketball IQ team. I think their game travels well.
They're not going to beat it,
which is important in the tournament, because if you figure you go to Salt Lake, you're going to play in an NBA arena. That's a different type of environment, but this team has done that, and their games have traveled well. And then if you go to the second round, you're in LA. Can you bring your game with you? And I think this team is made up to do that.
Of course, Mark Few now on top of that list of the all-time winningest active coaches by percentage. 80% of his games. They've only been 2 times this season that a Zag player has fouled out, and it was Olynyk both times.
Early on in the year when he was still trying to get caught up to the speed of the game.
It also speaks to the depth of Gonzaga. If somebody gets 3 fouls early in the second half, they don't have to leave him in the game. Bring the next guy in. Let them,
or even 2.
Get it.
Right.
I mean, you're exactly right. There's so much depth that they don't get in those type situations very often.
3rd personal foul on Drew Barham. That's 19 fouls on GU as Rancifer at the free throw line. Next question. You know, Joe Lenardi, kind of the doctor when it comes to who's in, who's out. Every time I look, it's either St. Mary's last 4 in, St. Mary's last 4 out. Are they a tournament team?
I think so. I haven't seen the score for today when they played Creighton.
They won today.
So they won today. So I think that as long as they play well in the conference tournament, I would think that they're in.
Well, I think they're a tournament, NCAA tournament caliber team. But when you look at the resume, their strength of schedule is going to hurt them quite a bit. They've got a couple bad losses, and they don't have a lot of good wins. So they're definitely going to be on the bubble. There's no doubt about that, unless obviously they can beat GU or whoever's in the championship game.
It's not a comfortable situation for Randy Bennett when your RPI is 50 and your strength of schedule is 142.
Right.
There's nothing there that says they're in for sure.
Yeah, but you assume if you win both games next week, let's assume a bit, you win the first game in the conference tournament, you're in the finals, you've won 27 games.
That's hard to turn away a team that's won 27 games. That has been as good as they have over the last number of years, because they're going to look at the name in the past as much as they say they don't. A team on the bubble who's had success in the past is more likely to get in.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I'm not sending any bad mojo to Morocco.
Right. No, they're having the same conversation.
And St. Mary's has been left out before, gentlemen, with 26 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good call. I forgot about that.
I should point out,
that was a great team, too. Simpson and Sam Hamm in the middle.
Yeah.
I remember
Patty Mills.
That was a shock, Patty Mills. That's when Patty Mills broke his hand here in the kennel.
For a nice teardrop. I should point out, everybody at home probably thinks all these numbers are living in my head, but the great Brock Salzman is listening to us. He's a tremendous statistician. I say something about something, and within seconds there's a slip of paper in front of me with numbers on it.
He seems to always be a step ahead of us.
He is. He's like a great point guard playing with great vision. There's a block by Grant Guinness, guys. I said it one of our last games. I think Grant Guinness is going to be a star here at GU. I think he could be a 18-point, 20-point a night guy.
See here, I think it's easy 2 points. That looks clean. A late call from the official, but you see the length. And that's not a play that Pangos and Bell and Stockton can make defensively. Cal can do that, along with Eddie and Mike Hart showing some of that as well.
But what you see is Gonzaga's up 31 points at this point. he could easily just concede the 2 points. That's not what this team is doing. That's not what they're preparing for. They're preparing to play all 40 minutes, and that shows you right there that they're looking to continue to improve and do big and better things.
.353 to play. USD on a 12-5 run. Karnowski left-hand jump. No good. Dower tried to save it. 3:43 to play in Spokane. Gonzaga trying to get to 27-2 when we come back. Here in the west, got a shot of the city of Spokane. I guess dusk. Sun is setting. And there's some help coming to USD from this city, from University High School. Bill Greer really likes this kid, gentlemen.
Yeah, talking to them before in shoot around. Bailey just going to fit in with what they want to do. Good size, 6'6", really skilled, good at everything. I mean, not a great at any one particular thing. Plays hard. Looks like with Ransford leaving as a senior, he's going to step right in, have a chance to play some major minutes. And I think what they like about him is that he's a skilled player at that 3 spot who gives you some size. I think that's something that's difficult to recruit for here in the WCC, is finding those bigger, more athletic kids at that 3rd guard or small forward spot. They've got a nice piece there.
He would be here tonight, except he's playing in a game against Enumclaw. The winner will go to the 3A state tournament with the top 8 teams in 3A in the state of Washington will play. But they're really high on this kid out of USD, or at USD. He's big and can shoot it.
Yeah.
Can never have enough shooters.
Nice gift for him, plays really hard on both ends. Defensively, he's not going to be overwhelmed right away as a freshman, which is often something that you see as a freshman comes in. Maybe offensively, they can pick things up, but that defensive end, there's a real jump when you get to this level. I think he's probably physically able to step in and compete on that end. They're very, very happy to have gotten him, and obviously a kid out of Spokane.
This is Trey Guidry, a freshman out of Houston, Texas. 6'6", 215. This ball, Barham with the rebound. Should point out that the general manager of the Polish national team is also in attendance tonight. Watching Shemek Karnowski play. There's DeLandrietti. Got it to Dower. Missed it. Barham with the rebound. Creates space. Got it out to Eddy for 3. That's short. There's Karnowski. You want him dribbling it out, or you want him flushing it?
I'd like him to go right back up with it, but hey, kick it out. Let's get another opportunity, score 2 points.
I think Shemek turned the corner on Wednesday night. I was able to come to the game, sit near the baseline, and I saw him play more physical than he has all year. And I think he's starting to realize how big he is, how strong he is, and he's looking for contact rather than receiving the contact. He's starting to deliver the contact. I think that bodes well for GU in the tournament.
Wow, that shot way off by Guidry. Fans will let him have it on that one. Dan, you probably missed a few, right? Brent Guinness returns the favor at the other end.
Well, that's something I don't know if I've ever seen in my life. Air ball at one end, come back down with a good shooter, air ball it at the other end.
Kyle felt bad, right? So
Sam Dower checks out. He's replaced by number 14, Brian Baskar, a walkout out of Monterey, California. 6'2", 185. You heard the roar of the crowd, that's why.
One thing I want to see out of Brian today is the few minutes he's gotten this year, he's passed up some open shots. I mean, take advantage of your opportunities when you're out on that floor, young man.
Spoken like a true gunner.
Hey, if you're open, shoot the ball.
I can hear the conversation, with Dan. Hey, make that extra pass. I'm open here, man. It's 28 feet. This is a good shot.
I can make it
as
from
good
40.
as it gets, Few.
34 is good enough.
Well, one of the things that Coach Few has always said to me about my game is when I come back to practice and watch and hang out a little bit, he always says, you know what, Dan? You're the third worst defender we've ever had in this program. I said, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. At least I'm not the worst.
Rem Backamus also on the floor now, number 15. Who are the worst?
He said Adam Morrison and Derek Ravio, but you know, for me and Adam, you know what?
Saving energy, right?
We're going to outscore our guy, Coach. Don't worry about it too much.
Minute 35 to play. There's always something in there, Dan.
Well, that's the thing you love about the coaching staff, is they're always wanting you to improve, not only for the team's sake, but for yours. And so they're always finding holes in your game that you can work on.
Did you get better defending? You had to, probably, right?
Without a doubt. I had to, or else I'd keep hearing it every day. There we go.
Bhaskar with a deflection. Backamus picks it up.
Reward him.
Oh, the deflection. Guidry got back. He waited too long. And free throws coming. USD really earning their trips to the free throw line here in the second half. But it's still a 30-point game.
Rem's father, Bill, high school coach at Mar. Probably not too happy with Rem's turnover there.
Time now to announce tonight's player of the game, presented by A to Z Rental. No job too big or too small with 7 convenient locations. We rent everything. Let A to Z Rental be your most valuable player. And there he is, Kevin Pangos, 18 points tonight on 6 of 8 shooting, 3 of 5 from behind the arc, 3 rebounds and 2 assists. Kevin Pangos, A to Z Rental player of the game. Bhaskar has his shot blocked. And there you see the way Koch can get up for USD. Pinned it on the board. Bhaskar, the rebound. There's Karnowski. Spinning. Hey, with the right hand.
Well, he ain't down, and Karnowski points to the bench and gets a good laugh from Mark Few and Ray Giacoletti. You didn't think I could do it, did you? That's what he's doing. Well, a nice move. Hey, if he can get a right-handed jump hook, I'll tell you what.
They were yelling at the ball handler on the floor. They must have been yelling, get it to Karnowski. And that's going to do it. Gonzaga with a 31-point win against USD. Bill Greer and Mark Few will meet. Kyle Bankhead, Mike Burns, a lot of Spokane roots on that coaching staff for USD. Okay, guys, we've got about a minute and a half. Gonzaga now 27-2. They're 14-0 in the West Coast Conference. Sky's the limit, obviously, right?
You win by 43 on Wednesday. Tonight, you beat a team by 31. There's no doubt you're playing as well as you played all year. Things are clicking at the right time. I think the challenge now for Gonzaga is, among other things, is maintaining this level of play and searching for ways to get better so you're peaking in March.
Can they get better?
Without a doubt. I think they can get better. You know, this coaching staff is not going to let them rest, and they're not going to rest themselves, finding ways that they can improve. Granted, there's small ways they can improve, but it's a collective effort right now that they want to leave no stone unturned.
They're going to get to the West Coast Conference tournament. Those games are always going to be important. You've got BYU looming, a road game yet, and you've got St. Mary's in that tournament. I mean, there's still big games to get to a #1 seed.
Yeah, you got huge game down in Provo, despite the fact BYU struggled a bit. Is as tough a place to play in the WCC, and then like you said, Greg, you get into conference play or the tournament, you're going to play a good team in that tournament.
Richard Fox, Dan Dickow, appreciate it. Wonderful job this season, gentlemen. For the rest of our Gonzaga basketball crew, good night from Spokane for the final time in 2012-2013. The Zags now 27-2, 14-0 in the West Coast Conference. Good night.